The Brave Lantern of Willow Hollow. In a quiet valley, surrounded by silver-tipped mountains, there was a little village called Willow Hollow. By day, the air was filled with birdsong and the laughter of children who played in the meadows. By night, however, the village was lit not by many lamps or candles, but by a single magical lantern that hung in the center of the square. This lantern was no ordinary light. Its flame had burned for hundreds of years without ever going out. Not rain, nor wind, nor snow could snuff it. The villagers believed it was a gift from the forest spirits, a promise that shadows would never overrun their little home. Every evening, families gathered around it. Mothers rocked babies in its glow, children listened to stories, and even the oldest dogs curled up, their tails twitching as they dreamed. But one autumn night, the flame flickered. At first, only a little, like a candle disturbed by breath. But then it sputtered weakly, as though whispering for help. Gasps spread through the square. Never in anyone's memory had the lantern dimmed. Grandmother Orla, the village elder with hair as white as winter, raised her cane. "The lantern is losing its strength," she said gravely. "It burns with the heart of dawn, a crystal hidden deep in the whispering woods. Someone must journey there, or the flame will die." The villagers looked at one another. Strong hunters shifted uneasily. Merchants shook their heads. No one wished to step forward. Then a small voice rose. "I'll go." Everyone turned. It was Mila, a girl no taller than the elder's cane. She had curious brown eyes and a satchel always filled with feathers, pebbles, and little treasures she found. "You," the butcher laughed. "The woods will swallow you whole." "She's just a child," muttered a farmer. But Mila stood straight, her voice steady. "The lantern protects us all. If it fades, so will our home. I will go." The crowd murmured, doubtful. But Grandmother Orla tapped her cane. "Sometimes," she said, "courage hides in the smallest places. If Mila's heart is willing, we must trust her." So, that very night, Mila prepared. Into her satchel she packed a loaf of bread, a flask of water, her tiniest lantern, and one smooth pebble shaped like a heart, her most beloved treasure. Then, with the village watching, she stepped into the shadow of the whispering woods. At first, the path was gentle. Moonlight spilled through the trees, and fireflies drifted around her like tiny stars. The air smelled of pine needles and moss. Mila hummed softly, each note giving her courage. But the deeper she went, the darker it grew. The trees leaned inward, their branches like arms reaching. The wind hushed, and then came the voices. Whispers, curling around her ears like smoke. "Turn back, little one. You are too small. You will be lost forever." Mila's heart thudded, but she clutched her satchel and whispered back, "I'm not afraid. My village needs me." Her lantern flickered brightly at her words, and the whispers faded into silence. Still, every few steps, she thought she saw shadows shifting just beyond her sight. Yet she kept walking, steady and brave. Soon, Mila came to a river. It was wide and rushing, its waters singing a strange tune, like voices woven into the current. Across the surface were stepping stones slick with moss. Mila tested one. It wobbled under her weight. She took a breath, then stepped onto another. Halfway across, the current roared louder, and suddenly the water surged. A great fish rose from the depths. Its scales shimmered silver, as though carved from moonlight. Its eyes were deep and ancient. "Why do you cross my river, little traveler?" the fish asked, its voice slow as rolling thunder. Mila bowed politely, though her knees shook. I seek the heart of dawn to keep my village safe. Will you let me pass? The fish's eyes gleamed. Only if you give me something of yours, something you cannot find again. Mila opened her satchel. Inside were feathers, twigs, and her smooth pebble shaped like a heart. She held it tightly. It had been her treasure for years. Her throat ached, but she placed it gently on the stone. This is my most precious pebble. Please take it. The fish swallowed the pebble, then smiled. Bravery is giving what you love most. You may pass. The stepping stones grew steady. Mila crossed safely to the other side. Beyond the river, the land rose steeply until Mila reached the Mountain of Echoes. Every step she took bounced back 100 times, repeating until it filled the air. She climbed and climbed, but soon her legs grew heavy. Her satchel weighed on her shoulder, and her breath came hard. She sat on a stone, wondering if she could go on. But then, the mountain's echoes changed. Instead of her footsteps, she heard the laughter of her mother, the chatter of children, the songs sung in the square on summer nights. The mountain was reminding her of home, of why she had begun this journey. Mila rose again, determination lighting her eyes. She climbed until she reached a cave glowing with soft golden light. Inside, resting on a pedestal of stone, was the heart of dawn, a crystal shining like sunrise. But guarding it was a tall shadow with glowing white eyes. You come for the heart, it rumbled. But do you know its cost? Mila's lantern trembled in her hand. Still, she lifted it high. I know my people need it. I came to be brave, even if I am small. The shadow studied her for a long moment. Then, slowly it bowed. The true flame is not in the crystal, but in your courage. Take it. The crystal lifted into Mila's hands, glowing brighter as her lantern caught its light. The journey back was gentle. The river sang kindly this time, and the trees whispered soft songs instead of warnings. When Mila stepped out of the woods, dawn was breaking. The villagers were waiting, their faces pale with worry. The lantern in the square was nearly dark. Its flame was no more than a trembling ember. Mila placed the heart of dawn inside. At once, golden light burst forth, warm and bright, filling the square as if morning had risen all at once. The villagers gasped, then cheered. Some wept with joy. Grandmother Orla touched Mila's cheek. The flame is safe, because Mila's heart is brave. From that day on, no one doubted her. She was not just the curious girl with feathers and pebbles. She was Mila, the keeper of the flame. Every night, as the lantern glowed, children begged her to tell the story of her journey. And she always ended with the same words. Even the smallest flame can hold back the dark.
Thank you for listening. Sweet dreams, little one. Don't forget to subscribe for more bedtime stories.